Good morning, you absolutely wonderful, lovely human beings. I've been working with one of my one-on-one coaching clients, and we had this really in-depth discussion yesterday about seeing the best in people rather than worrying about getting rejected or trying to defend yourself against getting used or getting hurt or being betrayed or any of that sort of stuff. And a funny little thing happens in life, in human psychology. If we assume that the other person that we're dealing with, maybe it's in the context of a relationship, maybe someone that you're going on a date with, maybe someone that you're in business with, or a potential client, or whatever it might be, if we assume that they might be trying to hurt us, or that they might screw us over, or they might betray us, or hurt our feelings, or be mean to us, or be unkind, or brutally reject us, or whatever it is that we might be worried about, if we assume that they might do that, or we're really careful and worried that they might do that, we actually make it more likely to happen. And if we do the opposite, if we go through life generally trusting people, being pretty kind and empathetic towards people, assuming the best of people, and not assuming that they're going to screw us over at the first opportunity, guess what? They tend to rise to the occasion and show us the best of themselves. And so this is known as a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it extends out to the entire world. If you go around, as a guy for instance, assuming that women are going to fuck you over and that they're all just gold diggers, or they can never love a man the way that he deserves to be loved, or whatever stories you have in your head, you make those come true. Because you don't try as hard to connect with women. Because why would you connect with someone or an entire gender that you believe is out to get you, or is just going to break your heart, or is going to screw you over, or is going to reject you brutally? Why would you bother? Why would you try? And so you don't try as hard. You think you're trying, but you're not trying deeply, vulnerably, honestly, and consistently and persistently. You sort of half-ass your approaches. You walk up to women and you think, what's the point? She's just going to be mean to me. Either I'm unworthy, or women are all bitches, or women will never give me a chance. And you don't really give yourself a chance. You just don't try as hard. You don't put in the effort. You talk to one woman every now and then, and you sort of half-ass the conversation. You're not excited. You're not grateful for the opportunity to talk to your fellow human being and maybe connect with them, and maybe even go on a date and have some beautiful, wild, kinky, fun adventures together. You half-ass it, and then she gets a half-assed approach. Think about it. Some guy walks up to her and half-asses the conversation. Why would she be excited about that? And so she gives a half-assed reply and goes, oh, thank you, but no thank you. And then you tell a story that she did that to you. But you were the point of origin. You were the one who initiated that. You were the one who walked up with that belief system in your head that women don't give you a chance, or women are a waste of time, or women are just going to reject me, or I'm too old, I'm too short, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too ugly, or whatever it might be. And you don't give yourself a chance, my fellow brothers, and you lovely ladies listening. A lot of you do the same thing. You believe that men are all just fuckboys, or men can never be honest, or men can never communicate, or men just want one thing and it's fucking disgusting. And you put those vibes out there, and you don't choose to see the depths of men. I work with men every single day in my coaching programs, and my God, men are very deep. Men are very vulnerable when given that space. We're not judged for their vulnerability. We're not called a fuckboy before they've even had a chance to open their mouth, or we're not accused of being part of a patriarchy or whatever other invention is made up. Men are very, very beautifully deep and vulnerable and emotional and complex and wonderful, just like women are too. And so many of you out there are just looking at the surface level and saying there's nothing deeper than that. No, my beautiful friends, you don't look any deeper than that. And so why would you ever see anything deeper than that? If all you're doing is looking at the surface level, then yes, that is all you're ever going to see. And if you assume other people are just not to be trusted, or they're going to fuck me over, then how on earth would you ever build trust with them? For someone to be trustworthy requires building trust. What is trust? Trust is when you are vulnerable and the other person handles that wonderfully. Maybe they don't judge you. Maybe they just sit there and listen to you. Or maybe they say, thank you for sharing that. Or maybe they reciprocate and they're vulnerable too. And you go, wow, I was vulnerable and then they were vulnerable back. I trust them a little bit more. Trust literally requires vulnerability. You are not going to build trust unless you are a little bit vulnerable. And if you go around defending yourself, being too cautious, being too guarded and caged, and you defend yourself at every opportunity and you never let your walls down, then yes, the world is going to seem very, very untrustworthy because you haven't let anybody in. You haven't given yourself the chance to build some trust. And a lot of you take this to the extreme where you don't go outside and talk to any women. You guys, you don't go on the dating apps, or if you do, you put up a bunch of half-assed pictures, selfies of you that you took in 2 seconds. You don't put any effort in because that would require some vulnerability. And then you say it's too hard. Women don't give me a chance. I'll always be an incel. I'll always be a virgin. No one will ever love me. What have you done recently to love yourself? What have you done recently to love other people? If you want something in life, you go first. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. If you want to live in a world that looks after you a little bit more, then you look after the people in that world first. If you want to live in a world that's a little bit more honest, then you be honest first. If you would like women to open up to you, then you open up to them first. Be the change that you want to see in the world. One of my favorite people, Byron Katie, has a quote that I really like. Don't be too careful. You might hurt yourself. And a lot of people in dating are trying so hard to be as careful and cautious and guarded and closed off as they can be. And I get that. I get that we as human beings often carry around baggage. God knows I do. I've learned to let a lot of it go, but there's still quite a lot there. I'm a human like the rest of you. But if we're just too careful, then all we're ever going to get is comfort and safety. And even then, safety is not particularly comfortable a lot of the time. Do you guys feel nice and comfortable as a virgin when it's something that you care about? There's nothing that's wrong with being a virgin, but a lot of you act like it's a death sentence. Are you comfortable in your safety? Are you comfortable in your caution? Are you comfortable not going outside and talking to women? No, it's not very comfortable, is it? It seems comfortable. You have your video games and your porn, you have alcohol, you have food, you have some drugs if you're into that. And that stuff seems a little comfortable. It gives us some temporary respite or relief from life, or from the harshness that we think life is, the story that we tell about life. Life is suffering, we say. And then we self-medicate. What a beautiful cycle that can be. I use the word beautiful loosely there. But it's not particularly comfortable to sit inside, disliking your life, but being a little bit too afraid to go out there and change it. That's not comfortable, is it? Working a job that you don't really like, knowing that you're capable of more, knowing that you could be destined for more, but not really taking that risk because, hey, at least my job pays the bills. Or, hey, I have bills to pay. I can't afford to leave my job and work somewhere else, work somewhere better, build something better. Women, you do the same thing. We all do. We're all humans. We all like to avoid discomfort. We all like to scroll through TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and whatever else we can use to give ourselves a little bit of dopamine, a little bit of, like I said, respite from life. But life doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. Life is actually pretty fucking beautiful if you sit down and say, what do I want? And then start working towards that. What would I like to have? Who would I like to be? And maybe the most important one of all, but the one that most of our egos neglect, is what would I like to contribute? What would I like to give? What would I like to provide to the world, to my fellow human beings, to society, to life, to the universe, to God, whatever it is that you might believe in? What do I have to give? And when we give, guess what? A beautiful thing happens. We receive. If you go around seeing the best in people, assuming that they're by default good-natured people, because most people are, let's just say everyone is trying to do their best, even people like Hitler. Hitler was doing what he believed to be best for Germany. He was fucking misguided. I didn't think I have to tell any of you that it's a pretty fucking goofy idea to go and kill tens of millions of people in order to build a prosperous, healthy, wonderful country. To declare war on the world is a pretty fucking stupid way of building your country up. But that's what he was believing. And all of you and every other human being out there We make mistakes. We make errors in judgment, errors in thinking, but we are all trying to do the best that we can with a very strange existence. Life itself can be very fucking strange. None of you were given an instruction manual on birth. We were just plonked down here. We were just squirted out of our mother's vaginas, kicking and screaming and having no idea what the fuck life is, what consciousness is, or any of that. We're all just trying to do the best that we can. And if you can recognize that in your fellow human beings and see them not as evil or bad or horrible or out to fuck you over, but as misguided, as innocent, as not knowing any better, as naive, as having errors in thinking, if you can see the best in them and then forgive them for that, and that doesn't mean spending time with people who are trying to manipulate or tell lies. You don't have to spend any time with them. I don't. But if you're able to forgive them or see the innocence in them or see them as simply misguided rather than evil and horrible and to be denigrated and judged, if you would stop using phrases like red flag, bad person, evil, piece of shit, bad woman, bad man, if you would stop that and just say, that's not what I want in my life, or that person isn't what I want in my life, or I'm going to go in a different direction, or hey, let me play to win and find the people that I do like. And I don't have to sit there and judge or denigrate the people that I don't like. I can simply just say, no, thank you. And I can move on. You would find that this whole dating thing, this life thing, this business thing, this friendship thing, whatever it is that you're working on, goes a lot smoother when you don't judge others, when you don't choose to see the worst in them, and when you instead try and find the best in them, or at least the innocence in them. Everything runs a lot smoother. And a beautiful thing happens. I hinted at it at the start of this video. They rise to the occasion 9 times out of 10. If someone, for instance, is angry at you and yells at you and maybe says some unkind words to you, if you're able to say, hey, I can see that you're angry. It's okay. I get angry too. 9 times out of 10, they calm the fuck down. And they go, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just pissed off. And if you can say, yeah, I get it. I get pissed off too. I get it. 9 times out of 10, they calm down and say, I'm sorry. But if you instead defend yourself and say, don't talk to me like that. You can't speak to me like that. How dare you? Do you think that calms them down? Do you like being told not to be angry when you're angry? Do you like being told to calm down when you feel like you're emotional? Do you like people calling you hysterical when you're simply feeling some emotions and maybe having an ego that is running a little wild, as all of our egos do from time to time? Do you like being told to just ignore what you're currently thinking or believing and just get over it? Does that feel good to you? No. But that's what we do to others. Do any of you like being called a bad person? Do you like being called a bad man or a bad woman? Do you like being told that you're doing things wrong, that you're a mistake, that you're ugly, that you're not good enough, that you're unworthy, that you should just shut the fuck up? Do you like that? No. And so when we say those things to others or even hold those beliefs in our mind towards others, we don't even have to say it to them, but just thinking it about them. When we hold those beliefs about others, that they are bad, that they are wrong, that they are out to get us, that they are fucking us over, that they should be different from what they are, that they need to change, that they're the problem, they're the reason I'm unhappy in my dating life. Women are the problem. Men are the problem. When we accuse them of that or hold that belief in our brain, they reciprocate that. People don't like to be called bad. People don't like to be called the problem. People don't like to be told to change. People don't like to be told what they should do. People don't like to be guilt tripped. People don't like to be manipulated. People don't like to be accused of things, and people don't like to be judged or denigrated. And when you judge others, especially in a dating context, they turn around and judge you right back, or they leave. And you end up with the people that are very judgmental themselves. And so many of you are creating the world that you see without even realizing it. You're innocent in that. But hopefully with videos like this and my content, and there are plenty of other people, there's millions of people that will tell you this basic fucking psychology 101. Look up psychological projection. There's Wikipedia pages on this. There's books on this. Just Google psychological projection. And you will see that a lot of the world that you think you see is entirely generated from you and your worldview. If you go around thinking that women suck, or you go around thinking that men are the problem and the patriarchy is the problem and all of that, then that is all that you will see. you will just confirmation bias. You can look that up as well. And you will look for all of the men that fit your narrative and your worldview, or all of the women that fit your worldview. And you'll point to them and you'll say, look at that evidence right there. Yes, I agree with you. That evidence is right there. If you told the opposite story, however, that people are inherently good, or at least trying to be, that everybody is doing the best that they can with what they have at the time, that everybody sees themselves as the hero of their own story, even people like Hitler and Stalin and Lenin, as misguided and fucking naive as they were. Holy shit, that's a nice way of phrasing it, isn't it? But that's kind of the point of this video. They saw themselves as the hero of their story. They saw themselves as inherently good people, which is kind of wild in retrospect, isn't it? But everyone is out there trying to see themselves or trying to be good. And if you're able to go around understanding that, or even just trying that on, walk around for a couple of days, just looking at everyone and imagining that they are trying to do the best that they can. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Just try it for 2 or 3 days and watch how your entire world changes. Watch how people are a little bit friendlier to you because your body language softens. You are different. You literally don't judge them as much. You won't be quite as snappy. You'll be a little bit more conversational. You'll be a tiny bit happier and you will smile at them more. You will relax and your shoulders will drop and your body language will soften just a little bit, enough that it is perceivable by other human beings. We're pretty good at reading body language and we're decent at knowing when someone is judging us. It's not that difficult to tell. You know, they're very blunt, they're very short, they're not polite, they don't say anything nice to us. They're kind of unkind sometimes. People are not very good at hiding their inner thoughts and their judgments. We're just not very good at that. We're not all world-class actors. We haven't taken acting classes. We're not particularly good at hiding how we feel. We tend to wear our heart on our sleeve most of the time. And so if you walk around assuming the best in people, they will be able to tell on a really small level. They might not know all the thoughts that are in your head. Nobody can mind read. But they will be able to tell that you are generally a friendly or a trusting or a non-judgmental or an open-minded person. And people will start to open up to you a little bit more, just a little bit. These things are almost so small that they're almost imperceivable. But you'll notice it if you do it for long enough. If you do this for a couple of weeks, if you do what I talk about in the Play to Win video course, I'll leave a link down below to that, and you start walking around assuming that everything could be good or everything is good, or you just start telling a story that's a little bit more positive. We're talking about being a little bit more positive here, a little bit more trusting, a little bit more vulnerable. You will start to notice a difference. People will treat you just a little bit differently. And especially in a context like dating, where you do get quite close to people, people will treat you radically fucking different. If you assume the best of them, if you assume that they're good people or trying to be, if you assume that they're not out to fuck you over, and they're just trying to find some love, or they're trying to find some validation, or they want some acceptance, or they want a bit of sex, or they want some attention, whatever it is that they might want, usually the same things that you want. If you start to treat people in a dating context like they are on the same team as you, like you're both out to get the same thing, and maybe you can help each other and work together instead of working against each other or trying to get laid or use them or take something from them, or I have to get what I want before they try and get what they want. If you instead view them as on the same team and you work together, man, the entire world changes, the entire dynamic changes. If you compliment them and give them lots of praise and tell them that they're beautiful and tell them the things that you wish they would say to you, again, be the change you want to see in the world. If you say the things to them that you wish they would say to you, a lot of the time they reciprocate. And you could even be honest and say, it would really mean a lot to me if you would compliment me too. I'm a human being trying to do his best. I'm trying to work on my self-esteem and my self-love. You do me a massive favor if you just give me a compliment or two. Most people will give you a compliment if you've been giving them compliments already. And so you can start to see people as on your team. They are on the same team as you. They are your teammate. They are someone that you are working together. They are your fellow brother or sister, not literally, but they are your fellow human being. And the relationships that you build, even casual ones, are just so much deeper, more fulfilling, more beautiful, and less like a boxing match. A lot of you treat dating as if it's a boxing match, as if you're against the enemy, as if you need to conquer someone. Men and women try and conquer each other. Brothers and sisters, we are on the same team. We are on team humanity. We are on team consciousness. We are on team life form. We were all born on this earth not knowing what the fuck is going on. Why don't we team up and try and figure out some of this together? This is my mission in life. It's not just to have sex or to make money or to build a YouTube channel or any of that. I like those things. Those things are incredibly beautiful. But my mission here is to learn as much as I possibly can about this crazy, insane, wild thing called life, and to try and share that knowledge with as many of you as I possibly can, and hopefully have a lot of you share some stuff with me too. And we can put all our information together and say, hey, here's what I learned. Here's what you learned. Can we add all of that up and see if we can figure out just even 0.1% of this weird thing called life? And so the more that I'm able to see my fellow human beings as teammates, as friends, as partners, rather than the enemy, the more I can accomplish my mission of understanding life a little bit more, of having a better time. You know, Oscar Wilde, one of my favorite people, said life is too important to be taken seriously. I like to have fun in this beautiful thing called life. I don't like to walk around assuming that people are out to get me or that it's so fucking serious that I have to defend myself at every opportunity. And if someone ever says a seemingly unkind word to me, I like to see the innocence in their statement. I like to see if maybe there's some truth in what they've just said, even if the delivery was a little bit unkind, or we could say that it was a little bit unkind. I like to see that person as potentially maybe even my friend. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to assume they were just having a bad day. And I'm going to talk to them as such and say, hey, my brother, it seems like you're a little bit angry. Or hey, my sister, it seems like you're a little bit upset right now. I get that. I get upset and angry too. But I'm going to choose to see the good in you. This is what I think you were trying to say. Is that correct? I'm going to look for the innocence. I'm going to look for the kindness. And like I said, a funny thing happens. When I do that, a lot of the time they say, yeah, you're right. I'm normally much kinder than this. I'm just having a bad day. And I go, yeah, I can tell you're a kind person. And they go, thank you. I can tell you're a kind person too. And that doesn't always happen. Sometimes someone's just so caught up in their own suffering or their own frustrations or their own ego or their own anger or their own whatever it might be, that even with my kindness, all they reply with is, go fuck yourself. And then you can simply leave and say, yeah, they're having a bad day. I've had days like that where I tell people to go fuck themselves, or I at least think about telling people to go fuck themselves. So I understand. And I can walk away with love in my heart and say, okay, that person has done me a favor. They have given me an opportunity to give myself some love. If they're not going to be kind to me, then who's left? I am. I can give myself some of that love. I can go and spend time with people that are kind and loving to me. And so this person has just shown me who I want to spend my time with. So thank you for that. You have helped me appreciate the people that are kind to me. So even someone telling you to go fuck yourself can still benefit you, because they're reminding you that you like kindness or gentleness or compassion or whatever it might be. They're reminding you of what you like in dating and what you don't like, or what you like in a friend and what you don't like. And so they're doing you a favor. So when we go around and see the best in people, they either rise to the occasion or they don't, and we move on. But if we go around seeing the worst in people, they often sink down to that level. If we assume everyone's out to fuck us over, I said it before, when someone says to you guys that you're bad or you're trying to fuck them over, what do? You lower down to that. You go, well, fuck you then. If you're going to accuse me of this, I may as well do it. If you're going to say that I'm fucking you over, you know what? Fuck you then. I may as well do it. You've already accused me of it. You've already punished me for the thing I didn't do. I may as well just do it. It's a funny thing in our psychology that we are almost like stubborn or egotistical when we're called bad or we're accused of something we didn't do. Our brain goes, well, fuck you. I'm going to do it then. So if we go around assuming women are out to screw us over, a lot of the time they say, well, fuck you, buddy. I'm going to do that then. If we go around assuming men are not safe and they're dangerous, that makes them angry a lot of the time. And they go, well, fuck you then. If you're going to say that, fuck you then. I'm not going to protect you. I'm not going to be nice to you, bitch. And they give us the exact thing that we were secretly seeking. We don't even know that we're seeking it, but our brains want to confirm our worldview. So if we think that the world is fucked, We try really hard to find examples of that. Our ego or our brain wants nothing more than to be correct. It is its main mission to reinforce its own limiting beliefs, or its own, beliefs about the world. If we go around thinking everyone is kind, we will hunt for evidence that that is true because we want to be correct. We're all little egotistical, beautiful people who like to be correct. And so we will go around and see the best in people. The real 420 IQ play, or the real realization, is to realize that the world you think you see does not exist. You have entirely projected it or fabricated it. Again, you can look up psychological projection. Descartes, the famous philosopher, said, we are inherently creating the world that we see out there. I've paraphrased that quote, but basically the world that we think we see doesn't exist. If you think that everyone's kind, then that's what you'll go looking for. That's what you'll focus on, and that's what you'll remember. That's what you'll think you see. If you think that everyone's out to get you and they're all assholes and they're all dickheads, then that's what you will project. That's what you will look for. That's what you will focus on, and that's what you will think that you see. We've created that world out there, and if we're going to create a world, if we're going to go around telling stories about other people or about what they're like, if we're going to tell stories about what life is like, we may as well tell a sweet little dream rather than a terrifying nightmare. I would much rather live in the world where I say that women are kind and they're doing their best, and not 100% of them. It's not about lying to yourself and being naive, but they're all trying to be kind people. Even the ones that have been led astray a little bit, like sheep that have gone from the flock, have been led astray from the flock. Maybe they're a little bit angry, maybe they hate men, maybe they're unkind. I don't have to spend time with them, but I don't have to judge them. And when I go through life with that worldview, most people rise to the occasion, and the ones that don't, still at least don't get so angry at me because I haven't told them they're a bad person. So the worst that I will hear from them is fuck off, which is much better than if I call them a bitch or say they're a bad person and then it just escalates. So the worst case scenario is they keep being unkind to me and I just leave. And then I move on and talk to the next person. Like water off a duck's back. No harm, no foul. You're just having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or a bad life. And I move on and I go and talk to the women that are a little bit kinder. And like I said, 9 times out of 10 people will rise to the occasion when I see the best in them, when I say that they're a kind person, or I try and find the goodness in them. It's almost like you're coaching other people to rise up. And that is essentially what it is. People will rise up or lower down to your expectations of them. The vast majority of human beings are not super stoic. They're not super confident in who they are. They're not able to sort of be resilient. And so if you think that they're a great person, they will just go, shit, I guess I must be. And they will rise up to meet that. They want your expectations of them to be true. If you think they're a bad person, they'll go, well, fuck you then, buddy. And they'll get very emotionally reactive and they will lower down to that. Most people will be whatever it is that you think they are. And so I choose to go around assuming that people are good, and my relationships, my friendships, my business relationships, all of that is so much better for it. I will end it there. Beautiful human beings. You're all wonderful. You're all good. You're all kind. And I choose to say that. I choose to focus on that because I can see the goodness in all of you. And if you would like a little bit more help with any of this, again, I said that this was all prompted by a long conversation I had with one of my one-on-one coaching clients. We ended up having this massive 3-hour coaching call yesterday, or the day before yesterday, rather. If that appeals to you, if you would love to hear my insights, if you would like me to help you build that beautiful life of abundance and joy where you go around seeing people is inherently good, when you're able to trust people a little bit more, your relationships, your business, everything will flourish. And if that appeals to you, I have several coaching options. Right now, I have a one-on-one coaching deal where you can work with me privately. I normally don't offer this. I'm only offering this like short term, like for the next 3 months. I have one guy that I'm working with and 1 slot left, and then that is it. I probably won't do this again in the future. I'm moving away from one-on-one coaching because it's obviously a lot more effort from me. I enjoy it, but it takes up a lot more time and energy and all of that. And so 1 slot left. It is currently 50% off. I'm offering it at a big discount. We have payment plans if you need one. I'm happy to jump on a free call with you. There will be no sales techniques, no pressure, none of that shit. I'll give you some free coaching. And at the end of it, I'll say, so do you want this one-on-one coaching deal or not? If you say no, I'll be like, that's beautiful, my brother. I hope you have a wonderful life. If you say yes, then I will change your life. That is the Andy Wells guarantee. Absolutely, we will change your life like we have changed so many other lives. And this one-on-one client that I'm talking about, he's only been working with us for 2 weeks at the moment, or with me and the coaching team for 2 weeks at this point. And he's already had these massive insights. He's already started making way more money than he was before, building himself up, having deeper sexual relationships, and going really deep with a woman that he's seeing right now. If all of that appeals to you, there's a link down below to that. We also have a much more affordable coaching program, a group coaching program called the Abundance Collective. I'll leave a link down below to that as well. As always, ladies and beautiful gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals, keep doing beautiful things, and I promise, if you choose to see the best in people, they will give that to you. If you choose to see that they are all good people, then that is the world that you will live in.